Good afternoon, Cedarfield family. This is Michael Shaw, serving as Executive Director. It is the end of September 30th here at 3 o'clock. If you are tuning in live here at the community, team members and residents alike, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. And we are videotaping today's live chats. Those of you that are on our Touchtown website, listening to this information tonight, thank you for taking time away from hobbies, interests, spouses, life in general. We appreciate that. We do have probably a 60-minute live chat here today. The format of the chat is for the next 20 minutes. Yours truly talk a little bit about COVID-19 Evolving Preparedness Plan. We have Sharon Brown here from housekeeping, Christy Walsh-Smith here from marketing department, Rebecca from wellness and leisure, Florence is here from pastoral services, and we might have a surprise guest as well. So it looks like we have 45 minutes of information, which should take us into just about 4 o'clock. So as it relates to COVID-19, those of you that are interested in some global and national data, and here locally, it is as follows. Globally, this worldwide pandemic has affected 34 million people. We didn't have a live chat last week, so 2 weeks ago we reported that that number was 30 million. Unfortunately, the number of people who have passed away over the last 2 weeks has increased from 940,000 to, unfortunately, we've crossed the 1 million threshold. 1 million, actually 20,000 people across the world have passed away from COVID-19. Here nationally, we have jumped from 6.8 million to 7.3 from 2 weeks ago, number of cases in the United States. And the number of deaths that occurred over those last 2 weeks rose 10,000. So the United States sits at 210,000 people who have passed away. Regionally, here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, there are 148,000 cumulative cases, which we still rank 15th across all states. And that's our national ranking. That ranking has not changed in the last 5 weeks, so we still sit at number 15. The number of deaths here in the Commonwealth rose to 3,211. And we sit at a 7-day positivity rate at about a 6.7 here in the Commonwealth. Locally here in Henrico County, our case count rose over the last 2 weeks to 5,491. In the Commonwealth, Henrico still rests at the ranking of 5th across the state with the most number of cases. And here in the county, that number rose to 216 people who have passed away from this pandemic. Our 7-day positivity rate sits at about 6.5%. That's slightly down from 2 weeks ago at 6.9%. Chesterfield County, again, is holding steady with a 4th ranking, county ranking within the Commonwealth. There are 6,053 cumulative cases since the beginning of this pandemic. And unfortunately, 95 people have passed away in Chesterfield. And their 7-day positivity rate sits at about 6.7%, which is holding steady from about 2 weeks ago. So those are some of the facts and data around the world and here in the United States. Here locally, some good news at Cedarfield. I really just have good news to share here for the next 15 minutes. When you look at our dashboard, number of pending tests, the number of people who actually have COVID-19, any team member or resident that we are tracking with signs and symptoms, any person that has a prolonged exposure, anybody that's on a contact trace list, or anyone that's under quarantine, that dashboard is completely green right now. So that's all great news. Whether we're talking about independent living, cottages or the main building, whether we're talking about our memory care assisted living itself, and or the health center with residents or team members, there is nothing on our dashboard as of today. So let's keep everything crossed and hope that that stays true here for the foreseeable future, which has given us reason to, my second piece of good news is to launch into phase 1 of our evolving preparedness plan for memory support, assisted living, and the health center. So we are officially in phase 1 in our licensed side of the community. So that is just fantastic news. We will be publishing a memo and the details of what that three-phased, or what the phase 1 plan looks like across these 3 different levels of care, meaning memory support, assisted living, and the healthcare area. We'll be publishing that tomorrow. We will publish that memo and that plan to every resident that lives here at Cedarfield. So, all great news. Additionally, in independent living, we have been kind of teetering between phase 2 and phase 3. And so we're going to, again on this memo, describe where we sit as it relates to an attestation to the Virginia Department of Health. We're going to head into phase 3 in independent living at Cedarfield, both the cottages and independent in the main building here, since our dashboard is also green. And the 2 main differences in independent living will be visitation and the Atrium Cafe. And so a little bit more details about that in a few seconds. So while we're going to publish a memo and the details behind phase 1 for Sunshine Plaza, assisted living and healthcare area, those of you that have any questions about the details, please feel free to reach out to, since Matt's not here, Matt Dameron, the Associate Executive Director, Melissa Seiler, who is our DON, our Director of Nursing. Every neighborhood, we have 5 neighborhoods in the licensed area, which has a clinical leader and a neighborhood leader. They're the ones that put the plan together in concert with the staff that work in those neighborhoods. So they would be more than happy to answer any all questions after the publication of this memo out tomorrow. In phase 3, we're going to open up the campus for visitation. And particularly, again, this will be in the memo, so folks have a chance to read it tomorrow. But we're going to allow visitors to come onto the property, for those of you that live in the cottage and the main building in independent living. Visitors will be allowed to come onto Cedarfield on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're going to start small and see how that goes. There is a little bit of a process so that we can maintain our contact tracing in the event that there is a situation that comes to us over the next couple of weeks. We'll be able to contact trace the visitor and hence the resident who came in contact with that visitor and where else maybe that resident walked throughout the community and came in contact with other people. So The process seems to me to be very painless, and it should be a relatively easy thing for visitors to come onto the property. So we're going to outline all the specifics of this in a memo here tomorrow, and if anybody has any questions about visitation, then you can feel free to contact any one of the members of the executive team, or feel free to come down to the administration suite. The other piece of good news with opening up visitation between 4 o'clock in the afternoon and 8 o'clock at night means that sons and daughters, immediate family are allowed on the property, and maybe you would want to share a meal with them, particularly, obviously, dinner. And so we're going to open up the Atrium Cafe for takeout dinner as well next week, so that residents can order a meal from the Atrium Cafe and then get that meal back into their apartment or cottage, and then have a nice hot meal with your guest. So all good news on the COVID-19 front. Again, there's gonna be a lot of information in your mailbox or your cubby box here in the next day or so. So I would just ask, there's a lot of people who have put together this information. There's a lot of information in these memos, and I would just really appreciate it if you take the time to read through it, digest it. If you have any questions, please reach out. But the main reason why we are able to even head into this direction is really thanks to the 500 people who live here and the 300 people who work here. We have done just an incredible job of comporting to our shared values. There's no blame unlike last night, there's really no blame here. We're all wearing our masks. I know infection control is at the top of everyone's mind. We're practicing social distancing, except the poker club I heard about just a couple minutes ago. So we're going to work with the poker club here on the A wing. But besides that, everybody has been really working really hard at our shared values. And that is the reason why we're able to keep unfolding normal things back into life at Cedarfield. Because we are all just being very diligent with our shared values, and safety and folks' well-being is at the top of everyone's mind. And so I can't even emphasize that enough. This is our 31st week of unfolding this evolving preparedness plan, and it is just very heartfelt for me sitting at the helm here, watching 800 people come together. We've been saying this for 8 months now, that we're all in this together, and we truly are all in this together at Cedarfield. And I just want to thank everybody. Let's keep doing what we've been doing here over the last couple of months, so that maybe we can keep unfolding things back into life at Cedarfield. We are going to give another push. I've been mentioning this over the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks about a rededication to what has gotten us to this point, our shared values. So we're gonna make another push here in the beginning of October, since we are headed into a very, not we at Cedarfield, but just society in general, we're heading into a very difficult season with no vaccine for COVID-19, but yet only 30% of the population gets the flu shot. And so we're heading into a very, very trying time here. Particularly, the CDC is saying that the 210 people who have unfortunately passed away to date over the last 7 months, that number will double in 3 months. So kind of put your head around that. In October, November, and December, and into January, that number is likely to double. And so we're heading into a very difficult season, so we want to rededicate and re-educate everyone, including the families that are now going to be coming onto the property, about our shared values and making sure that we're all complying with those values to keep everybody safe. So with the visitation that's going to open up here for independent living, means that part of the requirement for visitors to come onto the campus, that we really want them to use the main entrance here, and which will require parking spaces to be freed up out front. And so we've done a little time study and a parking spot count around the campus, particularly from D-Wing all the way down to Parkview entrance over the last 2 weeks. And on average, there's about 35 empty spaces at midnight. There's plenty of parking out there for the folks who are parked out front here, to relocate your car over on the west side of the property so that our guests have free access to the front of the main building. So that's our COVID-19 update. Anyone have any questions? Any questions come in? No questions? No questions have come in. Okay, so first up here that concludes our COVID-19 update. We're going to head into general operational updates. And first up is Sharon Brown from our housekeeping area.
Good evening. I'm just here to tell you a little bit about the update of the winter cleaning campaign. The winter cleaning campaign are doing well. You all calling in all your work orders for the winter, excuse me, the winter campaign is doing well. You're doing a good job, and please keep up the good work so we can get this done and you all have some good clean windows to look out. So we are in the second week of the campaign. The housekeeping department are doing a good job of cleaning all the windows. Please continue to call Gloria at 474-8806 for your service for the windows. So we have a little over 2 more weeks to go with this campaign, and then we'll maybe come up with something else exciting for you all. But anyway, thank you all, and thank you for your patience. And next is Miss Chrissy.
I like going after Sharon because then I don't have to move the microphone. Good afternoon, everyone. I can almost see you all right through the camera lens. I have some good news additionally on top of the good news you already got. So I can probably hear maybe some champagne corks popping. In October, for the month of October, we are going to have 10 new residents joining the community. And on October 7th, our first resident will be moving to our 3rd floor in our D-Wing. So we're very excited about that. The elevator, I was just told, has just had its first passenger. So the elevator is working perfectly. So that's great news as well. And I'd just like to thank you all again for being so welcoming and welcoming our new residents. It's just been amazing watching our new residents really being embraced by the community. So that's one of the things that makes Cedarfield special. And then I just wanted to do a little shout out to our Welcome Ambassador team of residents. We had a socially distant meeting last week, and we had 24 residents present that are part of the Welcome Ambassador campaign. So thank you so much. And specifically, I just want to thank Nancy Bolio, Nellie Keener, and Mary Ellen Acey for their hard work with that program. It's just been doing fantastically. So the next thing I wanted to tell you all is about the walked-in Alzheimer's. So as Michael mentioned, I can't believe tomorrow's October 1st. So the virtual walk this year will be on October 31st, but we're gonna celebrate it the week before at the community. So we've got some things planned. Rebecca and her wellness team has worked with us. We've got 3 separate walks planned, so you'll find all that information on the front of your informer. But just so that you know, we have always been amazingly generous with the Walk to End Alzheimer's and fundraising for the walk. Right now, our goal is $20,000, and we are standing at $5,565 raised. So we're about 1/4 of the way, 25% of the way to our goal. So please continue to sign up for the walk online at walk.org. You can go to the Cedar Fields page and join our walk. Please continue to give graciously, just as you always have. And we would love family members to sign up for our walk team as well. We'd love to have you as part of our team, even if we're not doing the physical walk this year. We would love to have that support from you as well. So that's really all I have right now, but I want to thank you so much, and I think Rebecca Merritt is next up with Wellness and Leisure.
Thank you, Christy. I am Rebecca Merritt, the Director of Wellness and Leisure. Hope everyone's having a wonderful afternoon. Just wanted to go over a few updates. I know everyone has received their informer for October, which was a lot of work, a lot of time was spent. We have a lot of programs that we've added and we're really excited about. One thing I wanted to share is on the back, I did a welcoming page of new staff and upcoming staff. Katrin Soltis joined us a week ago today. She's doing an excellent job. Her office is down in the atrium. She set up a fun welcoming table with some trivia and some different ideas that she's hoping to get feedback on from you all, as well as a candy corn guessing game jar. So please feel free to participate in that. And she's going to keep updating that and is really excited to be here at Cedarfield. And we're so happy to have her. Next Wednesday, we will welcome James Torres, who's also going to be a new Lifestyles Coordinator. His photo is also on the back page as well, with the bio. Some people had asked about what the Lifestyle Coordinator's roles are going to be. They will be in independent living. We are going to be working on our Wellness at Work program, engaging staff in having a healthier lifestyle with some programs available for them. Working on community outings, getting out in the community more. I know we're excited to have some new drivers who will be joining our team so that we can offer that. And also working on more of the independent programming, just adding additional programs so that we have some options. My goal is to have about 3 consecutive activity programs going on. We may have a movie showing, a wellness program going on in the pool, and then a trivia group. So just having more options available in independent living for you all at the same time is a goal of mine. So these 2 lifestyle coordinators are going to help make that happen as well. So I'm very excited about that. One thing I did want to bring up, and I did put a slide on Touchdown yesterday, the Fall Festival, we're excited. It has been moved to next Thursday, October 8th. So your previous reservation with dining will be honored. Please call them if there are any changes to your reservation. We're really looking forward to this. We're going to have a pumpkin decorating contest between departments. We're also going to be having a fall photo booth, which we're really excited about. Some other updates that you all read about in the Informer. We're bringing back movies on Sunday afternoon, so I know that was a request that I'm really happy to grant and honor, of course. That's going to be at 4 o'clock here in the Fellowship Hall, and we have listed those movies on the front page of the Informer. So those are some fun classic movies I think everyone's going to enjoy. We also are working closely on our community outreach here at Cedarfield. Coming up, we're going to have safety and snack bags. We're going to be making those for the children who are at the YWCA. whose parents are getting assistance for various things such as domestic violence, other forms of abuse. There is a need for these children to have some activity bags and some snacks and some things to keep them preoccupied while their parents are getting assistance. So we're very excited about being able to offer that volunteer program next week. Another thing that we're going to be doing is having sing-alongs every Thursday at 7:30 here in the Fellowship Hall with a music therapist named Lena Otto. She's very excited to be here. She has a beautiful voice, and we hope you join her tomorrow night. Next week is Active Aging Week. One thing that we're excited to offer in the Wellness and Leisure Department is an active aging presentation. And that's going to be next Monday. And one thing that we're going to do with that is have different individuals from the Wellness and Leisure team. And it's going to be at 2:00 p.m. here, and we will also be live streaming that. We're just going to give you some active aging tips, some things that you could be doing to help with your balance and staying flexible, some things that you can help to improve your cognition and stay sharp. So it's just going to be great. It's going to be interactive with members of the Wellness and Leisure team. So please join us. We're also adding a monitored pool time in October, which will be Thursdays at 2:00. One thing that we're really excited about, especially since we've been able to open up our community, is having just anyone who's interested in having kind of like a free swim in the pool, but to have an extra set of eyes just to ensure that everyone is safe. So we're really looking forward to having that on Thursdays at 2, and that's going to be every week. We are showing the Titanic movie on October 12th and 13th here in the Fellowship Hall. That's going to just be a fun, we'll have popcorn, a fun movie time, and so we're looking forward to just having a couple special days where we focus on that classic movie. And then speaking of popcorn, we're also going to be doing Friday Fun Popcorn in the lobby every Friday. Just please stop by. We're looking forward to doing that, and that's going to be at 1:30. So come and get a refreshment. This Friday, October 2nd, we will be having another movement disorder support group with Brian, who is a social worker, as well as Georgia. So that'll be in the Fellowship Hall at 2:00, so we welcome everyone for that. And then we're also just considering some new programs for November, mindful movements in the water, kind of like a movement and meditation time with calming music where we can do some relaxation, stretching, and exercises. Katrin is really interested in doing that, as well as some other upcoming programs that she's been working on as well. And then, once again, just to focus on the pictorial, I know that is still a work in progress. Lori Ryu especially has been working diligently on edits. We want to thank everyone who came out in the last couple weeks, had their photos taken. We're working on some retakes right now so that we will be able to get you your pictorial out in October. And that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rebecca. One more thing about COVID-19, I kind of zoomed the camera out so you can see this piece of equipment. If you have not seen team members, the Cedarfield team members walking around in the particularly the main building here with this piece of equipment, this is called the Total 360 Clorox hydrostatic machine. And so a few of us in the fellowship hall here had the privilege of seeing a demonstration from one of the representatives from this organization. We're lucky to have this. David Stewart actually purchased this piece of equipment way back in the beginning of March, and it just arrived here a couple weeks ago. So this piece of equipment is a great tool that we have to fight the virus on surfaces. So you will see team members walking around using this piece of equipment. If you see them coming down the hallway or they're in an elevator, it literally just takes 2 minutes for this electrostat spray to settle on surfaces, and then you can sit down on chairs or enter elevators. So if you see them walking around, you can just back off a little bit, that'd be great. We're gonna be trying to hit most of the common space areas with this machine or another machine called an e-mister at least every day. And so wanted just to give residents and team members out there a little a brief overview of why we're doing this. Again, it's another tool that we are blessed to have at Cedarfield, and we're going to use this particular piece of equipment to the best of our ability to keep surfaces clean and free of any virus, not just COVID-19, but any virus. So we're lucky to have it. A couple other administrative updates. Those of you that are interested in the D-Wing expansion, the second and the third floor of D-Wing will open up on Monday. And so a few residents will start to move in on the 7th and then the following week. So in the month of October, as Christy just described, a few of those move-ins are on the D-Wing. So we're very excited about finally getting here and being able to open up that complete expansion. I think that is all the other administrative. Anybody have any other questions? Allison, Renee, Florence, Christy? Okay, I'm going to turn over the microphone to Florence Brooks for some spiritual well-being and our good news segment.
Thank you so much, Michael, and thank you, Cedarfield. Thank you all for tuning in this afternoon. I did have one more update that Rebecca asked me to share, and that is the resident garden bed dedication event will be tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock in the gardens. Those of you, there will still be lunches for pickup for those of you who made the reservations. So we look forward to that. It's going to be gorgeous. So this afternoon, as part of our time of spiritual nourishment, I wanted to offer you some thoughts on joy. It's valuable for us to consider that a spirit of joy can carry us through hard times. As maybe some of you are thinking, oh, joy? So what I want to suggest to you is that joy is not something that we're actually born with, but it's something that we cultivate. And I want to suggest 3 different ways that you can begin to cultivate joy in your life. The first of which is by practicing gratitude. Consider looking for something, just one thing, to be grateful for each day, no matter what your circumstance. So that's something to try. The second thing is to consider sharing yourself with others in a spirit of support by offering kind words, encouragement, hope, and simply the gift of time. The third opportunity I want to suggest to you is even when you don't know what is ahead, allow uncertainty to exist. Even when you don't know what is ahead, allow there to be some space in your life for uncertainty to exist by trusting in God's grace. So may you, in some small way, begin to practice joy, that you might indeed build up more resilience in your life that can carry you through hard times. This afternoon, I want to share with you some good news. Our good news this afternoon is for Shannon Gus. Shannon, as many of you know, is the household leader in Sunshine Plaza. Shannon's son, Joseph, and his wife, Bethany, are expecting their first child at the end of April 2021 or the beginning of May. This will be Shannon's first grandchild, so we're celebrating that Shannon will be a grandmother. And also, we're celebrating that Shannon is getting ready to graduate with a Bachelor of Science with honors in health care administration with a focus on long-term care. She's looking forward to beginning administrator training in late October of this year. Shannon is working hard to level up, something that's important as part of our Cedarfield culture as we nurture growth in one another and encourage our team members to grow in their skills and knowledge. So congratulations to Shannon on her grandmother status and on her accomplishments educationally. Thank you all so much. Thank you for tuning in.